Meeting is called to order. Stella, if you please read the call.
Notice of public meeting of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville and the Brownsville Planning and Zoning Commission. Pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act, notice is hereby given that a special joint meeting of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville and the Brownsville Planning and Zoning Commission will be held on Tuesday, September the 5th, 2006 at 6 p.m. and a regular City Commission meeting thereafter in the Commission chambers on the second floor of the Brownsville City Hall Federal Building located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas.
All right, if everybody would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Leading us this evening in the Pledge of Allegiance from Lucio Middle School is Daniel Castellon, and his sister from Morningside Elementary, Sarah Castellon.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one and indivisible.
Don't go anywhere. Let me see. Where's our Reverend Bob Poole? Is he with us? If you give me 1 minute, Reverend, he can lead us in the invocation. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you that we live in a country and a city where we have the privilege of inviting you into the presence of proceedings such as this. We thank you that your word promises that there's wisdom in a multitude of counselors. We thank you that the men and women of this city have a heart for Christ. We thank you, Lord, for the prosperity that you've given our area, such that the city has even been able to reduce the tax rate because of that prosperity. We pray that you would give those listening tonight the ears to hear and give them the wisdom and discernment they need as they decide the issues of our community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. For those of you who are standing, next time you're going to have to get here a little earlier. All right, we have several proclamations before we get to the business at hand. Where are our athletes? You ready? Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to please welcome the first competitors ever at the Brownsville Pony Little League All-Stars from Brownsville, Texas, our Pony League All-Star team. Where you at? Ladies and gentlemen, these young men have the distinction of being the first team from the Valley, and especially from Brownsville, to compete at the Pony League World Series. While they may not have come back with the winning trophy, they came back champions in our eyes.
This is a proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, honoring the Brownsville Pony All-Star Team on its history-making performance. Whereas the Brownsville Pony, listen to this everybody, PONY stands for Protect Our Nation's Youth. All-Stars team advanced to the Pony World Series in Washington, Pennsylvania on August 12, 2006. It became the first pony team to represent the Rio Grande Valley in the 55-year history of the tournament. And whereas the road to the prestigious World Series began on June the 29th through July the 2nd, when the team went 4-0 in the district tournament in Ghana, which followed it up with a 3-0 mark in the regional tournament in McAllen, July 8th through 10th, claiming the Valley Championship. And from there on, it was to the sectional tournament in Edinburgh. We need to start having these tournaments here in Brownsville. What do y'all say? The team was once again undefeated, claiming the South Texas Championship, winning 3 of 3 in a tournament that included teams from San Antonio, Corpus Christi, Austin, Monterrey, Mexico, and Taylor, Texas, thereby earning the right to advance to the 10th-state South Zone Tournament in Burleson, Texas. And with a 5-1 record, advanced to the Pony World Series in Pennsylvania, where the team lost a heartbreaker 7-6 to the eventual world champion Puerto Rico. Whereas members of the 10th-state South Pony Championship team include, please raise your hand when I read your name, Juan Zapata, Jose Rodriguez, Justin Granado, Carlos Rodriguez, Enrique Negrete, Salvador Villapondo, Jesús Quiros, Alfonso Gómez, Francisco Marroquín, Rafael Rosales, James Aldevar, Armando Garza, Margarito Treviño, coaches Margarito Treviño Sr., Carlos Granado, and manager Lupe Granado III. Now therefore, we the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the Charter of said city, and on behalf of all of our citizens, do hereby honor and congratulate the Brownsville Pony All-Star Team on its championship season, which made it the first Rio Grande Valley Pony team to ever reach the Pony World Series. And for this, the players, coaches, and managers deserve our recognition, appreciation, and thanks for the stellar representation of our city. Done on this, the 5th day of September, by the City Commission. Before Coach Granado says, I need to recognize one individual who's standing right over there, the sharp-dressed man. Mr. Lupe Olvera, ladies and gentlemen, it was because of his dedication and his commitment to our youth of our city that the Pony League was founded here in Brownsville. So Lupe, I want to thank you very, very much on behalf of our entire city. Coach Lupe, would you like to say a few words? For those of you who don't know, he got a uniform tonight. He's our assistant finance director, but obviously he spends his free time very, very wisely.
Yes, I do. Well, I don't know where to begin. I want to make it short, but I guess this is a time for kind of showing my kids, for everybody to know what we did. First of all, where do I start? World Series, our trip over there. I want to thank Pony Baseball for having a program here in Brownsville that allowed this age group, because usually the 13 and 14-year-old age group is only available through Pony Baseball in Brownsville. And I want to thank them for having a program here. I got a couple of directors here. Adolfo Banda, he's the main director here. Ibo Gorena, Minera Peña, she's the current president here. Thank you for supporting us. I want to thank our sponsors. You know, most of this, it's kind of expensive to get through here, and usually we kind of go through our sponsors help out a lot. You know, I'll just go through some. I know I'm going to miss people, but, you know, just want to give
best recognition I can. Rene Cardenas from Cardenas Motor, he helped us out with the transportation to Burleson, Texas. He did good there. Chief Garcia through the Brownsville PD Youth Fund, he helped us out. First National Bank, Miguel Saldaña, Zarate Builders, Asthma Center, IBC Bank, American Auto Colors, Valley Trucking, Paul Lentz, Rocco Construction, QDI. Those are some of the sponsors that helped us. You know, again, without sponsorship, most of this wouldn't be available because as you go on plane trips, it's kind of expensive. The next group of people I want to thank and recognize is the parents of all these kids. You know, it takes a lot from parents. It takes a lot of parents' involvement to get involved with their kids at any youth organization, baseball, soccer, whatever it is. The parents gotta be involved. You know, that has to be one fundamental piece of any youth organization, and the dedication of the parents to bring these kids to practice, to games. That was major accomplishment. Without the parents, the kids wouldn't be here. There wouldn't be any youth organizations around. Second, next people I want to thank is the coaches. Margarito Trevino, he helped me out with the training of the kids, and being there, assisting me with whatever I needed to. The person that is not here and unfortunately can't be here, he's a Border Patrol agent with Laredo sector. He's my brother, Carlos Granado. He's actually the heart and soul of the team. He's the one that kind of pushes and fires these kids up to participate. I don't think I would be here or any of these kids here without his strong support, leadership there. He's a really good coach in that end. I handle the paperwork and stuff like that in some work, but again, Carlos Granado, he's the main tool here. And lastly, I want to thank the players. What sets these guys are not the best players, 13 and 14-year-olds in Brownsville. There's some other players out there, but what set these guys apart from those players is heart. All these guys love the game. They're not forced by their parents or anything like that. All these 13 players right here, they love the game, and that's what motivates them to be champions. And you know, they'll take that to the next level, to the educational goals and stuff like that. But dedication from the players, wanting to play, that's what makes a good team, and that's what made this team. And I want to thank them for being dedicated and yes, putting up with me.
Thank you, Lupe. Would you like to say something, Nina?
Yes.
Go right ahead. I think we can hear you better from over there.
First of all, I want to thank you very much. And even though Lupe is a little bit modest, I've never met a nicer and better person. If I ever wanted to be like someone in coaching, because I've been doing this 16 years, heart and soul. My kids are done. They're in high school. And I promised them I would leave when it was done and over with. And they said, Mom, you're never going to leave. It's in your blood. And I got them coaching, so they were right. This is the man that I wish every coach was like. There's wonderful coaches, but this is just a special man, and I want everyone to give him a big hand because he has a heart of gold. I would like to recognize the directors of Pony Baseball, Mr. Banda, over there in the back, Mr. Arnulfo Banda, Mr. Gorena, and Mario. Without them, we wouldn't be here today. I want to make an announcement today that we did this when I was in Little League, and then we moved from Little League to Pony League, and it didn't go on anymore. But starting next year, with the help of Lupe, and I've got his commitment, because now his son will be in high school, we're going to start the Challenger League, the Buddy Challenger League in Brownsville Pony Baseball. We will have a handicap league playing every Saturday starting next year. There's a lot of kids out there that want to play baseball. What we're going to do is have the 13 and 14-year-old. I had 8 teams last year. I had to cut off 2 teams. I think I'm going to have to go up to 12 after what these gentlemen did. I won't be able to cut anybody off. And what they'll do is every Saturday, a team will take a turn and come out Saturday morning and play with the kids that are handicapped. And we're going to call it the Buddy Challenger League. And we give you our word, it's going to be one of the best things, and we're going to go out there and promote this because these kids are part of our community, and we're going to teach everyone that we can all live together and have a blast. So I want to thank you all for doing a wonderful job, and thank you, Lupe, for the commitment you're going to make from here on out with that. I want to thank also Lupe Olvera, because he started Pony League in Brownsville. I have a baseball signed by the players, and I apologize, I left it at home. I will get it to you, but if you all don't know, Lupe Olvera is back in the game at the Shetland level, which is a 5 and 6. He started this year, and so he's going to be with us for years to come, so I can find him and give him his baseball. I also want to thank a very special person, because when Lupe was done with his son and he moved on to high school, the league kind of faded away. So we had to start over again. When my child finished Little League, I didn't know where to go with my oldest son, so I started Pony League. And this gentleman I'm about to mention was very instrumental, and he fought hard, and he loved the game, and he said he wanted somebody to go to the World Series. I brought him a baseball sign, which is the first baseball that was signed the night that these kids right here told me, why is this lady making us sign all these balls? What's the big deal? They have no idea that one of these guys is going to make the pros. I know one of these signatures is going to be in the pros. And I'm going to be very proud to say that I knew these guys, and some of these guys I coached. And I would like to present this ball to Dr. Rafael de la Cruz, because he started it over after Lupe Olvera went ahead and took a little time out, and now he's back. Dr. de la Cruz started it over, and I remember going to a vendor and making shirts, and he said, this isn't a Pony League, this is a general hospital. We are nothing but doctor sponsoring you all. So I want to thank him, because without his support, we couldn't get it back off the ground. So Dr. de la Cruz, this is from all these kids, because of you bringing it back. These kids went to the World Series in 2006. Thank you. And also to Chief Garcia. Without Chief Garcia, Carlos Garcia, and the love for the sport, we wouldn't have the 2 scoreboards that we have, the support that we have. Without a chief like Chief Garcia, these kids wouldn't have what they have today. I want to also give him a big thank you from the community, because I know his heart and soul is in the youth of today. So thank you, Carlos Garcia, and thank you all of you here, the city of Brownsville, because I know that this is our tomorrow. So when we get older and we cross the street, they'll stop for us. Thank you.
As you all exit the podium area, please remember that you guys made this entire city of 175,000 people very, very, very proud of you. Thank you for representing us so well. Thank you, Lupe.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Pete said you could keep your jersey on tonight, Lupe. All right, the next proclamation, Commissioner Camarillo, National Assisted Living Week. Is there anybody here to accept this award? Anyone? Going once? Bueller?
Oh, it's that lady with a...
Doesn't look like anybody here. National Assisted Living Week? All right, we'll carry that on. Okay. Next presentation, proclamation, is on behalf of a wonderful man. Commissioner Atkinson is presenting a proclamation to Dr. Rodolfo Rudy Valle. He brought his cheering crowd with him, didn't you, Doctor?
Here we go. Proclamation of the City Commission of Brownsville, Texas, recognizing Dr. Rodolfo Rudy Valle, for his long years of service to our community. Whereas Rodolfo Rudy Valle is a native son of Brownsville, born in 1933 to Consuelo Bolado Valle and Arnulfo Valle at the family home on St. Charles Street in Old Brownsville, where he grew up with his three brothers, attended Washington Park Elementary School, and later graduated from Brownsville High School in 1951. And whereas, after graduating from high school, Rodolfo Rudy Valle enrolled at Texas Western College, which is UT El Paso, where he excelled academically and where he received a research grant to study osteogenic bone regeneration with fibroblasts before graduating with honors. And great. Whereas Rodolfo Rudy Valle then attended the University of Texas Dental Branch in Houston, graduating in 1960 and entered the United States Air Force as a second lieutenant stationed in Japan, the Philippines, Vietnam, and New Mexico before completing his service to his country with the rank of captain in 1965. And whereas Dr. Rudy Valle came back to his native Brownsville, set up a practice at 925 West Jefferson, where he still practices today, and where he established his program to donate free dental care to the citizens of Brownsville at the City County Clinic at the Old Fort Brown. And whereas Dr. Rudy Valle has been serving the people of South Texas and northern Mexico for more than 45 years, and during that time has successfully performed cosmetic and general dentistry on thousands of people. And whereas Dr. Rudy Valle emphasizes environment-free dentistry and holds the highest standard in personal quality dental care. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, by virtue of the authority vested by the Charter of said city, do hereby recognize and congratulate Dr. Rudy Valle for his long and continued service to his community, and further urge all citizens to join in his recognition by remembering the importance of the proper dental health, done on this day, the 5th of September, 2006. Thank you. Congratulations. You want to say something? Yeah.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Charlie Atkinson, Mayor Eddie Trevino, and all the commissioners. You're the ones that deserve the proclamation. You're out here in the firing line, and I know there's not any money in it. Thank you a lot. I want to give special thanks to my office personnel. Without them, I'm nothing, and some have been with me over 30 years, 28, 29, 12, 15 years. I've lost track. And I also want to give special thanks to our doctors. It's unusual to have a father and son combination. My son Eric Valle is a dentist with our same office. He puts up with me. And Dr. Rick Villarreal also, and Dr. Alan Murda, also Dr. Otis Bausma, he's a periodontist, gum specialist, and my brother Dr. Arnold Valle, an oral surgeon. I want to give a very, very special thanks to my wife, who puts up with me. She can't figure me out yet, but she's by my side with her love and support all the time. I want to give also special thanks to our friends who came here. It's a cheering squad. And I want to tell you one thing. I love Brownsville. You know, grew up here as a little boy selling papers downtown, and I used to ride a bicycle into Fort Brown. I won't go into these old days, you know, but I just want to tell you that I love Brownsville and everything you all are doing for us. I think it's super fantastic. I want to borrow a line from President Abraham Lincoln. He said that everything I am, everything I've achieved is because of my mother. He said that, and that's the truth in my case. She's a little gal about 5 feet tall, and she passed away at the age of 96 not too long ago. So she said, you got to plan, pursue, and persist. And I always add the word party to it.
Thank you, Dr. Bryan. We'll take care of that last one after the meeting. All Our first presentation this evening is the Richard Catanzaro Scholarship. Who is present? There we go.
Mayor, Commissioners, I'd like to thank you very much for having us. Finally, we got coordinated enough to get out here. And it seems we have a theme of extraordinary students and youth within Brownsville this evening. And not to leave anyone out, we would like to recognize the industry of the shrimping industry for Brownsville and the students that did participate in this year's scholarship. And we have Sydney Lazane, who will start.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be before you tonight. Truly, after seeing the young men here from the industry, wow, well, we have 3 more that are in our industry, the fishing industry. We got together several years ago and started the Blessing of the Fleet. And from there, it went on to do the festival. We raised our money with the festival. This year we weren't able to have the festival, so we went to sponsors and we asked them to contribute to our scholarships. We got $3,000 together and we're giving the $3,000 away tonight. And thank you for giving us this venue to be able to give our scholarships away. And I would like to start with, let's see, Ivo Goga.
He didn't win one, did he?
No, but he's gonna give one away.
Yeah. Okay. Nice to be here before you.
Welcome, Ivo.
Welcome, thank you. The first scholarship will go to Valerie Harrington. Is Valerie here? She's at college.
Little Roy de los Santos.
All right.
Good evening, Commissioners and Mayor, and thank you for giving us a chance to be here. First, let me thank you all for your continued support, not only of the Gulf Ship industry, but also of the youth of the city of Brownsville, who this really benefits tonight. I'm here representing Brownsville Elks Lodge number 1032. I'm Exalted Ruler of the Elks Lodge this year, and we were one of the sponsors of the scholarships. And I'd like to read just the first paragraph of the paper that won this scholarship, because it says a lot to me about the individual who won. It says, how the shrimping industry has affected my life and family. I found comfort in the warm sun of deep South Texas, thanks in part to the shrimping industry. I was born 302 miles from the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Austin is where I was born, but Brownsville is where I call home. This shrimping industry has not only helped put food on our table, but it has educated my family and I about the significance of living in a part of Texas where family values, tradition, hard work, and respect of nature and the environment are an everyday reality. And I'm proud to present this to Mr. Jacob Rosas, $1,000 for college. Welcome.
All right.
I'll just share a little bit of mine. This scholarship is going to go to a young lady. Her family's in the industry. Her personal statement. I was born Alexandra Mayfield in the big city of Dallas, Texas, April the 4th, but the town I call home is Los Fresnos. My family is originally from the country of Honduras, born and raised on the very small island of Roatan. My grandfather, the late Captain Calvin Reyes, was a sea captain, and when he first came to the United States. He then sent for my grandmother, mother, and her 2 brothers, one of whom is the president of the Shrimp Association. My mother moved to Dallas and worked hard to secure a job with the up-and-coming Southwest Airlines and met my father, Calvin Mayfield. When a few years later they had me, Mom left the airlines and my dad left us, as I stated. I was born in Dallas, but I moved with my father. My mom took a job as an elementary teacher, and it goes on to say what she's doing now. So the children are the young people that we select. Our families in the industry, they can be a header, a truck driver, a child of a secretary, as long as you're somewhat affiliated with the fishing industry. Thank you again. And the scholarship of $1,000 will go to Alexandra Mayfield.
We did leave out one major sponsor who's been very active in the South Texas area as far as purchasing shrimp from all the boats, and that company is Penguin Frozen Foods. I neglected to state that earlier, but they have been a major sponsor in this year's scholarship drive, and we thank the people from Chicago who have given so generously. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here.
Again, thank you very much for allowing us to be here this evening. We're very, very proud of the students who did participate, and especially those who did place and win. They are all going into very, very different and diverse fields. I know we have one going into nursing, one going into architecture, and CSI. So we have a wide variety of students. And they, even though they are venturing out into a very diverse field, other than shrimping, this is a field, this is an industry that still stays very true to their heart. And this is an industry that got them where they are now. And it's an industry that doesn't just belong to them, it is our community. So we will continue to support the industry and the students who are there for us. Again, I want to thank our sponsors, Penguin Frozen Foods, the Brownsville Elks Lodge, and of course the La Frontera Blessing of the Fleet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope we can get the festival back on next year.
We can do.
All right. Mr. Cavler, Employee of the Month.
The awards continue. Mayor, members of the commission, please help me welcome Employee of the Month for September, Rosie Garza. Rosie, as you can see by her uniform, works for our bus system. She is the safety and training coordinator at the Brownsville Urban System. She's been employed with us since 1993. She's, of course, responsible for overseeing the training program for our incoming drivers. She makes sure they get proper education, and policies and procedures are well instructed by her on a continuous basis. And we see her as a person that has resolved a lot of our issues in relation to safety and accidents involving our bus drivers. She also oversees our drug and policy manuals and ensures that our bus drivers are aware of those policies, including the rest of the employees at the bus system. She goes above and beyond her duties, of course, and her morale is so high that she passes that on to the drivers. And we got a special show of her here, so instructing the drivers. Rosie lightens any occasion. Morale is way up. She can be counted on to display honesty and efficiency in all that she does, and is always willing to volunteer for additional tasks. When we visit the bus system at 8, 9 o'clock at night, she's still there, and she's been there since 8 in the morning. So she loves being there, as you can see, and we love having her. And we want to congratulate her again for being an Employee of the Month for September, and of course she qualifies for the Employee of the Year at our banquet in December. And for now, she gets a cap, a pen, and a promise for lunch from Norma.
From Norma. Congratulations, Rosie.
I just want to take the time to thank my director, Norma Zamora, for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you.
Item 3, consent agenda item A.
So moved to approve.
Second.
Motion approved by Commissioner Longoria, seconded by Commissioner Nevis. All in favor? Aye. All opposed, motion carries. All right, if we could have our, did they leave?
Mayor, unfortunately, we did not have a quorum.
Oh, okay.
We had, Mr. Villa had unforeseen circumstances and could not attend tonight, so I ask you to table this item. So move. Second.
So we're tabling item 4? Right, motion to table by Commissioner Nevis, seconded by Commissioner Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
I just look up folks know that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are here for the 011, I know a lot of you are here from West Brownsville. There was not a quorum for the Planning and Zoning Commission, so the meeting can't be held at this time, so it's going to be tabled. Sorry for you. Thank you for coming, but there's not a quorum for the P&Z.
Pete, should we go through the other items first before we get to,
5?
on the budget?
Your call.
Well,
I would say so, Mayor.
yeah, let's do that. Let's go to item 7, Stella.
Item 7, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 2006-1462, electing for the city of Brownsville to make current service and prior year service contributions to the city's account in the municipal accumulation fund of the Texas Municipal Retirement System at the actuarially determined rate of total employees' compensation.
Mayor, members of the City Commission, the reason why we are requesting that this ordinance be approved is because we have exceeded the maximum contribution rate in our retirement system. Right now, currently we have a 13.46% percentage that the city contributes towards the retirement. If we go above 13.5%, we have exceeded we would exceed the maximum allowed. So the new rate coming up next calendar year, 2007, is 14.01%. So this obviously is above the maximum amount of 13.5. But in order for us to continue to fund the retirement system, we recommend that you approve this ordinance so that we can provide the proper funding. And if we provide the proper funding, then we won't get any negative remarks by our audit, and will consequently have an impact on our financials.
All right, so you're recommending approval?
Yes.
All right, this is a public hearing.
I move to close.
Second.
Motion closed by Commissioner Woody, seconded by Commissioner Arroyo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Action.
Move to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Arroyo,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Maria. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next item.
Item number 8, public hearing and action on first reading of protested ordinance 235-2005-065-S to allow a dwelling-specific use in a dwelling use district and the removal of a 031 non-residential overlay district classification for 8.02 acres out of Country Club Estates near FM 802 and Country Club Road.
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, this case has come before you in a new application, but it did go to P&Z again for 8 housing units. It was denied by the Plan Zoning Commission, and the applicant appealed that decision to this body. You can have the map, please. Yeah. This is FM 802. Wait, it's not shown back there. Oh, there it is. Okay. This is FM 802, and the applicant would like to construct 8 homes here. Here's the golf course of VICC. In this particular case, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted to deny this application. There was substantial protests by the neighbors. As you can see here, it's a supermajority of the owners against this application, and they are here present tonight. So that's what the Plan Zoning Commission did, and the applicant has appealed. This is a public hearing. The applicant, through his attorney, called today and would like to table this item or maybe remand it back to the Plan Zoning Commission, but that is his request.
Planning and Zoning has already
acted and voted on it.
voted against the application.
That's correct.
All right. I would venture to guess that some of you are here on this item. Okay. If we could, so the applicant is requesting that it be tabled.
Tabled, and there's Mr. Nelson as a representative for the VICC homeowners.
Okay. If we could have maybe just a handful of individuals, I assume if you're against it, then I would just ask the leaders of the group to step forward, or the association.
Mayor, we're going to table.
Do we have to table?
We don't have to. Mr. Lucio can't be here because of his grandfather's wake. That's why he's not here representing.
Oh, I thought this man was here on behalf of them.
No.
They're on behalf of the association.
Oh, the association, okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I certainly don't want to bring you back, but for those of you who do not know, Senator Lucio's father passed away yesterday, and Eddie III is representing the applicant. Is that right? That's correct. Okay. And they requested that we continue the hearing, or what did you say, Ben, or remand it back?
It will be a decision from this body saying we remand it back to the Planning and Zoning Commission, or table, or deny, or approve.
I would say we remand it back personally, Mayor, because I've talked to a lot of residents here, as you see, who are opposing this issue.
So why remand to the city? Well, why remand back to the people?
There's no point of doing that then. I'm ready to vote on it tonight, actually. We can table it, like you requested.
We can table it, and for those of you who don't want to have to come back, trust me that your concerns and wishes are being addressed and have been heard. Clearly, if we do table it, you can come back, but again, we'd kind of be into the same situation where we'd like to have just a few individuals speak instead of being here all night. But trust me, I think
out of respect for
out of respect for Mr. Lucio after the death of his grandfather, I think we should table it, but don't let that be any indication of anybody's position on the application. So.
Mayor, wouldn't it be better to continue the public hearing until?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not table. Continue.
We'll continue it. We can continue the public hearing.
All right.
Let's do that.
I move to continue.
So we have a motion to continue the public hearing by Commissioner Longoria.
We need a date certain. Where?
Yeah.
Next city commission meeting?
September the 19th.
September the 19th. Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Longoria, second by Commissioner Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Yeah, you'll have your opportunity on the 19th. Okay, I do apologize if it wasn't for this family situation. We'd be moving forward with the hearing. I appreciate your patience and understanding.
Well, Mayor and Senator Commissioners, we do appreciate your attention on this item. There's a lot of people here against the proposal, and
that's what I'm saying.
Let us know we'll again for about the 7th time now come back.
Well, only the first time
with the city commission.
Yeah. But
thank you very much.
And we appreciate you all taking time out.
Due to the circumstances of that's not what Mr. Lucio, Mr. Towers.
Thank you very much, folks.
And so you can put it, if you do want to attend, it's in 2 weeks, so September the 19th. Item 9.
Item number 9, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2006-042 to rezone from A, area district classification to G, area district classification, 39.56 acres out of blocks 15 and 28 of El Jardín subdivision near Ray Jaime Street and Robindale Road.
Put the map, please. Where's this map? Honorable Mayor, City Commission, this is the area in question, of Robindale and Ray Fausto here in this subdivision. And you have 14th Street down in the bottom here. In this particular case, the applicant would like to rezone to from dwelling A to dwelling G classification, which is 5,000 square foot lots. This is for a proposed subdivision. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted to approve this recommendation to you.
All right, this is a public hearing.
So move to close.
Motion closed by Commissioner Nemo, seconded by Commissioner Longoria. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Action.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Lenos. Seconded by Commissioner Hernandez. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. 1 nay. Motion carries. Item 10.
Item 10, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2006-044-S to allow a general retail specific use in a light retail use district for .87 acres out of blocks 5 and 6 of Las Lagunas subdivision located at 5602 Paredes Line Road.
Mayor, I request that you read item number 11 as well. They go together with this application.
I'm sorry, did you say continue?
No, read item number 11. It's together with this application.
Go ahead.
Item number 11, public hearing and action on first reading of protested ordinance 235-2006-604-CU, amending the text of the city zoning ordinance by allowing a conditional use permit for the sale of on-premise alcohol for .87 acres out of blocks 5 and 6 of Las Lagunas subdivision located at 5602 Paredes Line Road.
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, this is the property shaded here. This is Paredes Line Road and Alton Bloor to here and Harding Heights Road here. The first application is to allow a bar in a general retail use district. Right now, the zoning is second commercial going up to fourth commercial, and that's to allow the facility here, the business. The second one is a conditional use permit to sell alcohol beverages in that particular building. This is a supermajority. It's protested by the neighbors, so we need a supermajority to override the negative neighborhood opposition. It's a specific use because the building back is where the proposed building would be. It's an existing structure right now, and then they have sufficient zoning to allow for an office complex in the front of that. If you're familiar with the property in Paredes Line Road, the property is kind of long, and in the back of this is where the existing home exists, and that's being converted into a proposed bar. This is a public hearing.
I move to close 10 and 11.
I have a question, sir. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Protest, is anybody here?
Nobody's here. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Mr. Medina, on the actual property, what barriers are, if it's to the right, to the left of that, is housing, correct?
Yes, that's correct. There's a home here, and then behind it, there's some, it's a single-family subdivision.
Okay.
And then on this side, you have El Banquito, the IBC place there, Bougainvillea across the street.
Is there any type of a, is that on the sketch that's provided, is that a fence, is there anything that buffers the actual business structure?
If this business is approved, well, they have proper zoning. Once they get their permit and submit their site plan to build the offices, for example, say this case wants to build just as what the zoning that they have now, they would have to put a screening fence, a cedar fence along this surrounding the property to protect it from the single-family residential.
Next to that structure, there's fourth commercial. Is that correct, or second commercial? What's next door to them?
Here in the blue.
Blue, yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's third commercial.
Okay, and what's currently there?
They have some. You have some Oliva surveying, and then you have GMR Homes. Office building, and then you do have this is a single family structure here, and then you have Uncle Sam or that gas station here.
Is this the same area where they're going to put a...
We had the proposed car wash across the street.
Oh, that's the car wash. Now they want a bar.
Well, across the street.
Across the street. Oh, okay. Nobody's opposing that?
Yes, this is a supermajority. There's a petition submitted.
Is anybody here to protest? Step forward, Ms. Oliva.
Thank you. My name's Daniel Uribe. We do have a supermajority here. For some reason, the neighbors that were not notified because of the holiday probably. But Mrs. Melgoza, the immediate neighbor to the north, has children. Mrs. Jordan, who is in the property behind me, says that her bedroom, she said at the P&Z meeting, her bedroom would be less, you know, maybe 10 feet. Her bedroom's about 3 feet from the property line, and that home, which the bar is going to be in, will also be very close to her bedroom, and would have to listen to the music of the bar to closing. I strongly urge you to please reconsider. The planning and zoning in their justification mentioned that because the Pizza Hut had applied for a beer and wine, they could not deny this application. There's no comparison between the two. Pizza Hut is family oriented and will have a kitchen. This place will not have a kitchen. It was strictly to sell.
Not going to have any food?
Is this place a bean, cheese and wine deal, or what is it?
I heard it was a wine tasting.
It's here and it's going to be addressed, but that's what she mentioned in her
Does
application.
she want to come up and talk or
Is it
no?
going to be like band, or is it going to be?
Is there going to be a car wash?
Loud music.
I think the question is whether or not there's going to be a kitchen there. You're going to be serving food.
It's a partial kitchen because it is, it's wine and, you know, hors d'oeuvres are going to be served with, and it's just going to be wine and cheese, those type of hors d'oeuvres that go with wine and beer. That's
So no loud rock, right, while you're having
no,
cheese and
sir,
wine?
it's going to be more like in your living room,
Sophisticated.
relaxing and having a drink. My thing is that my neighbor to the north, they have their home under sale already. All that area continuing on is until you get to the end of the block.
Ms. Gomez, the picture that's in there, we can't tell, I can't tell where in relation the other home is. I'm assuming this is a building, Ben, the building of the white building, that's where you're gonna, that's it, right? That's where you're gonna put it?
Converting to, yes.
Okay, so how, it doesn't look to me like there's anything that nearby.
The protest of my neighbor to the south, the one that he was in the bedroom, she was worried about, because her bedroom will be in my, or next to my not the driveway, but the parking, I'm sorry, the parking. And naturally, that will have to be buffered better because we do have a cedar fence right now.
Between you and this lady?
Yes.
Okay.
But of course, you know, my plans were to buffer it better with you know, concrete.
Okay, and is this a specific?
Yes, sir.
All right.
What are we adding there, Ben?
I'm sorry?
What are we adding for a specific use? What are you asking for?
She's mentioning putting in the fence, the buffer.
The specific use, the way I understood it, is because of the bar. And I know Mr. Odiva's question was that because of the fact that somebody else can take it over and actually make it into a cantina or whatever. But that's not, that's why I'm asking for specific use.
Cannot do that.
Once I get rid of, or that I can discontinue the business, it cannot be turned over to anything else.
Ms. Gomez, what will your hours of operation be?
It will be from 2 to 12.
2 to 12, no after hours, after 12 o'clock or anything like that?
Well, on Saturdays and Sunday, not Saturday, I'm sorry, not Sunday, we're not open on Sunday, unless it's a private party. But on Fridays and Saturday, I would like to leave it until 1, but it will start open at 2 o'clock.
So it's not till 12, it's till 1?
On the weekends.
But you have gotten the proper permit through TABC for after hours and all the consumption and all that, right?
I need this approved because I don't want to spend any more money if I'm not going to be able to rezone.
Mr. Uribe, one of the concerns that was raised last time and by the neighborhood is the fact that nobody's going to be there and that it would attract the wrong element. We mentioned Pizza Hut specifically, and the people were not concerned about that. While you're not going to have kids going to Ms. Gomez's place, I don't think you're going to be having loud, rowdy drunkenness there. And that potential exists anywhere, be it anywhere that serves alcohol or anywhere at home. I just don't think this is going to be a type of an incident or an area that's going to have a lot of high volume traffic or high volume noise. So I don't see this, I see this to me actually being less noisy than a Pizza Hut is going to be. And a Pizza Hut's going to be across the street. Nobody seems to have a concern for this, so I'm not quite sure why the major problem here.
This is not going to have a kitchen.
She just said that it was. She just said that it would.
Just cold cuts or doors, you know, it's not a kitchen like Pizza Hut, it's not family oriented.
Well, no, it's there's no. She's not saying that it's family oriented. It'll be a wine
relaxation type of place.
Well, it'll be people like me, Mayor, if I could, you know. She's always said that she wants to have a place for her comadres to get together where we can go and have an after-hours drink and not necessarily go into a bar that's, you know, just for men or that kind of thing. So anyway, it'll be for people like her comadres. I'm her comadre here. I'll be there. And it's also for young professionals that have come into our city now. And they might want to appreciate a place like this where you can sit quietly, taste different wines, have your hors d'oeuvres, listen to a little jazz music or, you know, that kind of thing. And so that's the type of establishment that she's hoping to build here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Riddle.
I'm sorry, Mayor, one of the things I didn't specify, since the building, you can see that it's going to be offices in the front, and then in the back is where the building is. It's right next to the resaca. Of course, I'd like to develop the resaca into a nice sitting areas, but my thing being that it's not going to be right there.
That's the building that you're talking about, right, Ms. Gomez?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then the office building is exactly to your...
Right there.
All right.
Now, as you can tell, it's not next to the street, so I will not press what this. It's not next to the street. It's way back here. So you're going to want to be attending. You're going to want to be coming to Salud. That's what the name of the place is, God willing. You're going to be wanting to come to Salud and have a drink. You're not going to be passing by and stopping and having a drink.
Where are they going to park to go to there?
Over here.
Right there?
Yes. That's all parking right there, right here, and right here.
Personally, I would suggest that you do have a kitchen because that's obviously going to enhance your capabilities. Plus, I think it would address that concern of anywhere you serve alcohol, you want to be serving food. I mean, it's an easier sell and it's also better for you. There's more volume in food.
Well, that is the reason that I am calling it a bar is because for the specific use is because I wanted to be honest and say I didn't want to call it a restaurant or a cafe and then turn around and sell more liquor than I do.
Then is there a problem with her application by her expanding so that she can have an operational kitchen?
No, because you can avoid that. That is a condition tonight.
Okay. Ms. Gomez, I think that would be better, to be honest with you, plus addressing the buffer the way you mentioned earlier. I mean, with those. Are you hungry, Mayor? Yeah, I'm getting hungry and thirsty. With those, if you would agree with those conditions, I certainly would approve your application.
It's a Pizza Hut across the street.
Well, I'm just saying have it operational. In other words, not just where you're serving cold cuts from a microwave or whatever. I'm saying if you
I am planning to do quiches and I mean, you know, the cheeses, the brie cheese wrapped with filling dough. I mean, you know, nice things. And I'm not going to just be serving.
But you have a kitchen there now.
Pizza Hut can deliver.
Unless Pizza Hut does deliver too.
Yeah.
Can you take that on?
Okay. Anybody else here on this matter? All right.
Move to close.
Motion to close by Commissioner Arroyo, second by Commissioner Maria. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action. Motion to approve by
10 and
Commissioner Maria.
11. 10 and 11 with the restrictions that were applied.
Motion to approve with the restrictions by Commissioner Gordy, seconded by Commissioner Meadows. Those being the buffer and the operational kitchen. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, item 12.
Item 12, public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235, 2006-048-S to allow a professional office-specific use in a dwelling use district for west 109.88 feet of Lot 4 of Lakeside Park subdivision near Boca Chica Boulevard and Acacia Lake Drive.
Honorable Mayor and City Commission, this property is on Boca Chica and Acacia Lake Drive. The Planning and Zoning voted to recommend approval of this application. This is Boca Chica, and it turns on to Billy Mitchell, and this is Acacia Lake Drive here. In this particular case, it's a specific use. A surveying company has purchased this house and is going to convert it into their office building. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted to recommend this application to you. This is a specific use. The site plan is in your packet.
So move to close public hearing.
Second.
There's some people here to speak.
Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Jackie Lockett. My husband and I, Dr. Lockett, have lived at Acacia Lake, on Acacia Lake Drive for more than 25 years. 25 years ago, you didn't have overlay districts, so our neighborhood got together to try to protect that very old neighborhood and even develop the zoning categories, suburban, rural, and had properties all in there rezoned so that we knew these kind of things were going to continue to happen, and they have over the last 25 years, where we've tried to have rezoning in the neighborhood. And all of the city commissions prior to this one have supported the members of that neighborhood to protect that area. Our neighborhood is bounded on the east by Billy Mitchell and on the west by Owens Road, and we surround the beautiful Resaca de la Guerra. Our neighborhood had a lot of people at the Planning and Zoning Committee, but they're not here tonight, so I apologize for that. But we do have a lot of opposition to any zoning within that neighborhood. Specifically, we have opposition to this particular lot because it's right there on the corner of Acacia Lake Drive and Boca Chica. It is the entrance to our neighborhood and sets the ambiance, if you will, for the neighborhood. It's an extremely dangerous intersection. That road, Acacia Lake Drive, is almost directly across from an exit from Lopez Grocery Store, and we often have problems with people coming out from that driveway. Acacia Lake Drive is a very narrow road, and the traffic congestion can get really bad. You can get a lot of cars stacked up trying to get out onto Boca Chica. The property is also near the curve as the road curves around to Billy Mitchell, so sometimes you have trucks and things coming from the airport pretty fast. Also, of course, Boca Chica is a wide road, so that makes it even harder to get across that street. We're just asking you to continue to protect our neighborhood by opposing this rezoning in our neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lockett.
You here? Is y'all here?
Is the applicant here?
Mayor, one of the items in the site plan that the Planning and Zoning Commission studied was that he had an entrance on Acacia Lake. That has now been removed, and only the entrances will be on Boca Chica.
Yeah, let me tell you, I got a call just recently from some people on Acacia Lake regarding this particular area, asking if we might be able to put an intersection there. I told him that, number one, the cost was prohibitive, but in relation to the stoplight or traffic light over at Billy Mitchell and Boca Chica, in front of the, I call it the Maverick. But I do realize now the amount of traffic that's going through there. I don't know if a traffic light would work. You have to refresh my recollection, Ms. Lockett. Is Acacia Lake perpendicular to the entryway of the Lopez Food Market? I mean, is it?
They're a little off, but
they're a little off.
They don't match.
I mean, there'd have to be a study done. I'm sure the numbers would qualify it, but what exactly? I was looking in the information. I didn't see any of the Did you all submit any written protests?
We made comments.
You just made comments? Okay. What exactly are they wanting to put here?
This is an existing home, and Vasquez Surveying Company wants to convert it into their office building. And the applicant is here. Here's Mr. Vasquez.
So, Ms. Maria, are they going to use the actual structure as an office?
Yes.
They're not going to...
As is, with one change. The homeowner before used to have an access, would come in through Boca Chica and exit here to Acacia Lake. That has now been closed. There will be no access to
Acacia Lake.
Yeah. There's a driveway still there. Well, it'll be fenced and as part of the requirements.
Was that one of the concerns, Ms. Lockett?
Yes, yes.
What if they do that? In other words, the only access to it is going to be off of Billy Mitchell now, right, Ben?
Boca Chica. Boca Chica.
Well, isn't it Billy Mitchell already there?
No, it's Billy Mitchell's a little south.
Still Boca Chica.
Okay, still Boca Chica there. I'm sorry. Okay. Is that...
Still rezoning in that neighborhood, and we'd like to just keep it as a strictly residential.
It's on Boca Chica. It's tough.
Well,
I'd like to address the traffic issue, and maybe Mr. Benita can help me. Recently, I was at a bus meeting, and Norma Zamora's here, and one of her board members who's handicapped, he's in a wheelchair, he addressed... Yes, that's correct. And he told me about that intersection and the danger that existed there because of the supermarket across the street. And, I know that needs to be addressed, and if this is just going to be contributing to that issue, well, we really do have to look into that.
Can I say something?
Yes, Mr. Galan.
I'm on the planning and zoning, and I live on Acacia Lake. I've lived there for over 30 years, and I go in and out every day. I'm in favor of that rezoning, and the reason I am, you cannot, Boca Chica is Boca Chica. It's a commercial street. Now, what this man is proposing to put in is just an office. There's about 2-3 cars that go in and out.
That's what I was going to comment on.
It's less than even a home, one. Then one of the conditions that I pushed for him to accept his rezoning was for him to put a fence on Acacia Lake. That means there will not, cars at this point can go in and out through Acacia Lake, but he will put up a fence where he cannot go out to Acacia Lake. He will be able only to go out directly to Boca Chica. Now, I think that it'll be better, less traffic, less movement than it was before when the home were there. Now, I do agree with Mrs. Lockett that Acacia Lake is a very narrow street. It's very tough to go in and out, but first thing, his cars will not approach Acacia Lake at no time. So I find it really the best of all evils. I mean, it's just...
So the integrity of the neighborhood will continue to be protected?
Yes.
You can step forward and speak, ma'am. No, come on.
Come on, Lois.
Come on. We don't bite hard.
Absolutely.
I appreciate your concern about the traffic, and it just really needs to be addressed. And putting this into a business situation is going to increase the traffic problem there. We've even had a car where one came out of Lopez Supermarket and one came out of Acacia Lake, and the car ended up on its side. I mean, it's that bad. And it's just something that really needs to be addressed. I mean, when they put Lopez Supermarket or Prano Market originally across from Acacia Lake, somehow the driveways should have been routed a certain way so we didn't have that traffic problem. And then to put something commercial right there on the corner, it's just going to be a quagmire. That's the only thing I can say.
Now, the only thing I do want to clarify is that this is not a convenience store or a restaurant. This is a survey. It's a professional office. How much room for parking are you going to have there?
We've chosen, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Joe Vasquez. I'm the applicant. There is currently shown on the plat that you said on the screen, we have shown 6 parking spaces. In reality, right now it's only a small business in which is myself. There's a crew, 1 vehicle, and 1 technician that I'm in the process of making him a full-time employee. As far as you can see there on the screen, there is not very many flow as far as traffic is concerned going in and out. The crews come in the morning, they get assigned, work for the entire day, and they do not show up until the evening, 5 o'clock when it's time for them to leave. I am in agreement with my neighbors where I do understand that there is a problem at that intersection. This is a traffic problem. I don't think it has nothing to do with the rezoning of this property. I believe it's an issue that needs to be addressed, but I believe it's also an issue that has to deal with traffic.
And then also it goes back to what Jackie was talking about, the rezoning and how we did apply as association. We did create a whole new zoning classification for the city, and I think it just needs to go back and be readdressed. You know, we need to protect our neighborhoods, and yes, he's putting in this one business, but then what happens when he resells it?
Well, is this a specific use? Then it reverts right back to exactly what it is. To a home. And I can think of a lot worse things to be putting up there than a surveyor's office. That's why I don't think he's going to have the traffic. Plus, even if he did, it shouldn't affect you because he's not going to allow it to go to Acacia Lake. And I would agree with you that should be the overriding concern. But I think with those safeguards, and then you heard it. We haven't made a commitment. We're going to look at it. We're going to study the issue about the traffic. Hopefully that'll alleviate some of the concerns also. But this won't hinder, create any additional traffic. I can't see that.
Lois and Ms. Lockett, before we take action on this, I have met with your homeowners association in the past, and you all have mentioned to me, we want to stay rural. We want to stay as is. My recommendation, and I would ask you to please take back to your homeowners association, I just see it right off the bat, something that would really help, and if you all would be in agreement, was for us to widen at least the entrance to Acacia Lake. I know how you all are particular about your road, but by widening that entrance at least, that would help with the traffic. It really would. That would be one step towards addressing one of the major problems.
You have the two homes there. Yeah.
That's true, but I guess what I would like for you to go back and readdress is the Acacia Lake zoning, the way we had set it up, and I think this is being ignored, and just because it's on Boca Chica, just because it's a busy neighborhood, doesn't mean that, I mean, it's a busy street, that our neighborhood should be
compromised.
Changed. You know, the zoning should be changed.
You all are,
but go ahead, Commissioner.
Sorry. You all are getting a new street within the next couple of months. And when I spoke to the engineer about it, I was very specific that it remained intact the way it is. You all are going to get a new surface and maintenance done to your road. But one of the things that was mentioned, because I am aware and all of us are aware of how particular it is what the specifications you've given us, they've been instructed to maintain. But like
Thank you very much.
But you know, we're trying to work with you. We're trying to maintain for Acacia Lake to maintain. Now, you know, we're trying to work. Honestly, Lois, we're trying. Ms. Lockett, we're trying to work with you all. Honestly, we are. You know, I'd like, you know, you all to consider a little consideration, at least on the Boca Chica section. Not right behind his home. It's fair game. It's all anything that you guys want. You know, but his property is the one facing Boca Chica. The Longoria residence, no relation, right behind Lily. From there on, not a problem. That is Acacia Lake. Let's maintain. But please, please give us a little, at least, on the commercial section on Boca Chica. We want to work with you. We really do. But at least on that Boca Chica section, like he said, he's going to keep the integrity that Acacia Lake has always had by closing it off. But his front property is on Boca Chica.
And
you know.
He sells, if he decides not to
Goes
be
back
there,
to a home.
it
Goes back to a
goes
home.
back to a home.
Yeah.
Back to home.
Thank you very much.
Sir, no trees are coming down because the entrance to Acacia Lake is a beautiful, well, no trees are coming down with the inside.
Well, as you can see there on the picture on the screen, most of that area is very beautiful, like my opposition is saying. That's why I bought it, basically. It's a nice area to basically work in and live in. Like I said before,
Are you going to be living there also?
I'm sorry?
Are you going to be living there also?
Well, my son does live there right now with me,
Oh.
so.
Okay, so you might actually live there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I am part of that area, in other words. But what I tend to see a lot right now is that the problem is with the traffic. Ever since I submitted my application, it appears to me that it's a traffic, and I've seen it personally there at that intersection. In the 6-month period that I've been there, I've seen at least 2 accidents at that intersection. So I'm aware that it's a problematic area. What I would like also for the city traffic department is to look at my layout and give me their opinion, whether it's useful for me to close that entrance that was, that I accepted, or whether would that be enough, you know, or what do I need to do to satisfy the city, you know?
Well, clearly that should have already been addressed.
Yeah, that
And I
has
think
been
it has.
addressed, and I agree with that.
Our concern is addressing the neighborhood's needs, and I think you're doing that. I know they may not be happy with you being there at all, but I think you're we're making sure that you should have no impact whatsoever on Acacia Lake. And you better not.
No, there isn't. As far as an impact, I mean, you can do a traffic study and go in there and count how many other vehicles go through that street. So there's a lot of things that you can come and look at.
Lois, if he's living there at the home, does he get to be part of the homeowners association? Okay.
Go ahead, Dr. Lockett.
Automatically banned.
Okay.
Did you want to say something else? Go ahead. That's what we're here for.
We all certainly welcome Mr. Vasquez to the neighborhood. We just hoped he bought it as a residence, and we hoped he would keep it as a residence. Why I'm asking you to protect the integrity of the neighborhood is because Mr. Vasquez, since Mr. Vasquez received that approval from P&Z, another property has come up for sale, land only, right there on Boca Chica facing Acacia Lake. It's a beautiful residential piece of property. And I think I saw it at some incredible amount of money just for the land. And this is what's going to happen. Every one of those lots on Boca Chica and Billy Mitchell is going to come to you for rezoning. And that's why we need to stop this now before it gets going further. It's not just Mr. Vasquez. It's what's coming after Mr. Vasquez. And you have no grounds to reject them. Thank
Ooh, she hurt you there, Mr. Vasquez.
Well, if I can just say one last thing. As you all are aware, the city of Brownsville is in a tremendous growth. There are changes through time. I see it like a child growing up. That's the way I see a city, you know, where a change and you adapt to those changes, you make modifications to rules, and that's just part of the growth that happens in a city. Compared to a child, the same thing, you know, you tend to regulate, but you cannot control everything that's going to happen. It's, in my opinion, you know, the way you regulate, you establish certain regulations to satisfy the overall majority. Basically, that's the way I feel, that that is just part of growth. The city is growing, and I am part of it. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you very much.
All right. Anything else? All right. Close. Motion to close by Commissioner Woody. Someone? Second by Commissioner Hernandez. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Action.
Go ahead. Anybody?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Atkinson,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Nettles. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
2 nays. Motion carries. Item 13.
Item 13, consideration and action on resolution number 2006-053 in support of a National Football League franchise acquisition and stadium development by Kitchener and Associates.
Good evening, Mr. Copeland.
Mayor, Commissioners,
Sorry to make you wait. We didn't think we was going to take this one.
listen, we appreciate being here more than we could tell you. I have with me tonight Mac Henry Tishner, whose father started KGBT in Harlingen in 1939, which was the first AM radio station in Harlingen, and it was half in English and half in Spanish. That was the difference. Well, when Mac got out of law school at UT and joined them in 1957, he could see that the Spanish part was doing better than the English part, and he convinced his dad to convert strictly to Spanish in 1957, and it was wildly successful. It became the third-rated radio station in the United States for its size. Mr. Tishner is a pioneer in Mexican radio and television. He understands the Mexican market. Mr. Tishner started Tishner Media Systems, TMS, which became Hispanic Broadcasting Corporation, HBC, and it merged with Univision in 2003 at a $3.5 billion cap rate. Thus far, Mac has spent over $1 million, and he's committed to spend an additional substantial additional sum to bring a National Football League franchise to the Rio Grande Valley. So far, he has met with the NFL officials in New York. He's commissioned a survey by Gallup. He's done market and financial analysis, and the results have been very successful. In case you're not aware of it, the NFL is a nonprofit organization which consists of 32 for-profit, wildly for-profit, I would say, franchises. And Mr. Tishner has undertaken to convince the NFL, the people of the Valley, and anybody who will listen to him that it is feasible to bring an NFL team to the Valley, to buy an NFL team, which has an average value of $819 million, if you just, that's published information, and an average revenue stream of $87.5 million annually. And the interesting thing about the NFL is that 80% of all of its income is shared among all of the teams in order to create financial parity between the teams. Now, there are 18 teams right now that are playing in new stadiums that were built since 1990. And the average cost of these new stadiums was $363.3 million. This will give you an idea of what he's tackling. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all I can tell you is that he can't do it without unanimous support from the people of the Rio Grande Valley. Now, I remember in the early 60s, Jack Skaggs and I, my partner, were asked to represent the people who wanted a regional airport down here. And all the statistics showed that one in the LaFerrier area or somewhere in that area would be great. But Lloyd Benson came down here, and Mr. Benson, Sr., and rented a room in the El Jardín Hotel, and then Governor Connolly came down, and by the time we could see very soon that nobody in the valley could agree on anything, and now we have 3 airports. Maybe that's okay now, but this is something which would be a benefit to all the citizens of the Rio Grande Valley. Our local market characteristics show that our primary market, within a 75-mile radius, we have 2 million people. Within a 76 to 150-mile radius of a spot say 12 miles north of the Mexican border in the center of the valley. We have an additional 5 million people. The surveys have been very positive. Community perception has been outstanding. The first Chamber of Commerce in the valley to support this project was Brownsville. Thus far, we've been to the Cameron County Commissioners Court recently, and they gave us a unanimous resolution favoring this project. We brought it up to the City of Harlingen very recently, and they also supported it unanimously. I say let's get together and let's support this. Is it possible? Is it feasible? What they have to do, first of all, is to convince the NFL, buy one of these teams and convince them that that it would be economically feasible to move it down here, that we have the market, the wherewithal, the corporate support, the community support to make it work. That has to be done. That's going to involve a tremendous marketing effort. But if it happens, we will have a state-of-the-art stadium that will celebrate our bicultural situation here in the valley. The reception in Mexico has been unbelievable. They like American football almost as well as they like soccer, but incidentally we'll have soccer there also. We intend to call this team, if it gets here, the Valley Knights in English, Caballeros Andante in Spanish. We intend to get bicultural support from Mexico. Mac has been approached not to have it here in the valley, to have it somewhere else, but he wants to give something back. And I say let's give him a chance.
So it's all up in Brownsville?
And we're asking for your support in this project. We're not asking for money, and we will not ask for money from the city of Brownsville.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to in support of the resolution.
Absolutely. We have a motion by Commissioner Nettles, seconded by Commissioner Hernandez. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Coppel.
Mr. Koppel, if you can dream it, we tell our youth that if you can dream it, you can achieve it. So there's no reason why we can't shoot for the stars on this one. Ms. Tischer, thank you so much for investing your life in the valley and for trying to give back to it in the manner that you're so doing. I also got to tell you, I like the fact that you attended University of Texas Law School. That makes us comrades in arms. So God bless you. Keep up the great work, and anything we can do to assist you, you can count on the City of Brownsville's support.
Thank you so much.
Bill Moon and Dina Gonzalez. Without the three of us, this thing's never going to fly. Without Brownsville, it would never fly. Thank you very much.
Good luck to you. Thank you. Item 14.
Item 14, consideration and action to announce that during a special meeting beginning at 6 p.m. on September 18th, 2006, at City Hall, the City Commission will adopt the city's fiscal year 2007 budget.
Do we need to do the other ones first? Okay, I'm sorry. Let's go back to number 4. I'm sorry, number 5.
Item number 5, second public hearing to discuss the city's proposed 2006 fiscal year 2007 ad valorem tax rate of 0.65 cents over $100 valuation, which is an increase of 7.87 over the effective tax rate, but it is also a reduction of 0.29 from the current fiscal year 2006 ad valorem tax rate of 0.68 cents per $100 valuation.
Ma'am, City Commissioners, this is a public hearing where we're proposing that we set the tax rate at 65.0235 cents per $100 valuation, or approximately 3%, actually 3 cents less than the current rate.
All right, we've already had our first public hearing. Any comments, any objections? All right, we need to close.
I'm sorry, just one comment. We will be okay.
We will be okay.
Are we going to be able to?
The tax rate that we are proposing is the maximum amount that we are allowed to set. If we go higher than the 65 cents, then we're risking a rollback by the voters, and we certainly don't want that. So we recommend that we set it at 65.0235 cents.
Even with pending negotiations and those types of expenses coming up?
If we're going to risk rollback, see, if we risk the citizens of Brownsville can, by law, if they have enough signatures, they can roll back the rate to the effective rate, which is 60 cents. And we're taking a huge risk. So again, we recommend 65.0235.
In real dollars, we're looking at about $1 million.
We're looking at an increase around 2.6 million.
Would you close?
Motion to close. Public hearing by Commissioner Longoria. Second. Second by Commissioner Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 6.
Item 6, public hearing to discuss the city's proposed fiscal year 2007 budget.
We still got 3 hours, Jeff. Where you going? There are some handouts in front of you regarding the budget. There have been some changes from the one that we previously filed at the City Secretary's office on August the 11th. And some of the changes that we have, we can go to the next slide. As we go along, we'll tell you what the changes are on the PowerPoint. Oh, you can barely see this, but if you look at the PowerPoint presentation or the handout, on that particular page, you'll see that the city's overall budget, that includes all the operating funds. We're at $116,464,034 revenues, and expenses or expenditures of $112,340,923. Now this includes all the funds. The reason why we show more revenues than expenses overall is because we have a sale of property at the airport of $5.5 million, and that obviously is a positive. Now, if we don't sell that property, then we would have to look at other areas to come up with the additional revenue. On the next slide, this just shows you the total revenues for all the funds, going back from general fund all the way through the Golf Center Fund. And again, the total revenues is $116,464,034. On the next slide, which are the expenses or the expenditures, the main fund obviously is the general fund, $75,966,732, or approximately 67.7% of the overall budget is in the general fund. On the next slide shows the employees positions that are we're going from 1,089 to 1,119 on a full-time basis. On the next page, it shows this is something that was not included in the budget that was filed in the City Secretary's office, with the exception of the MIS and the emergency management positions. 2 for MIS, and they are information technology technicians. Also 1 fiscal tech, 3 emergency management. We've added 3 patrol officers, 3 firefighters, and 3 maintenance workers for the Parks Department. All of this additional cost is around $467,789. I may add that when we allocated 3 new positions for the police and 3 positions for the firefighters, we reduced the overtime in the police department by $100,000, and we reduced the fire department's overtime by $75,000. And we also have, under the landfill tipping fee increase fund, we have an equipment operator 3 for $32,287. On the next schedule, which is scheduled B,
on parks, the maintenance worker, is that for the Old Boys Club operation? Is that where you're adding people? Do you know?
There were some many requests, and I don't know if he's going to be using it for.
No, not
That has not been addressed yet, Commission. Are you going to address that issue? Yes, yes, we will. Okay.
We have one more meeting, and we have it scheduled for the 18th. It's a Monday. That's when we'll have the 18th of September for the budget to be approved. During the budget process, I guess one of the concerns that we had was our bus drivers. Ms. Zamora is listing some bus drivers to other entities. So we went ahead and are increasing their hourly rate. This is the starting salary of $8.35, and I'm looking at the slide which says pay adjustments. The current rate for a transit operator is $8.3587. We're raising that starting salary at $9.6843. If we increase the hourly rate for the transit operators, we need to increase also the hourly rate for the supervisors, and these are the dispatchers. If you look at so these are adjustments in the public transit. We're looking at approximately a little over $100,000 in increases. Since the federal there's a federal grant here that will pick up 50%, so the actual general fund contribution will be half of that, or approximately $50,237. Since we are adjusting the entry level for the dispatchers at bus, we also have to look at the dispatchers in the police department. We're looking at increasing the beginning rate for the supervisors along 25 emergency communication operators. The total increase for all this personnel, which are 28, $70,986.
Pete, let me ask you, does this budget job add any cost of living increases for non-civil?
Yes.
Okay.
There is. 3%.
What percent?
3%.
Okay. Okay.
Our next, I'm taking a little bit longer because this is probably the only time I'm going to be able to speak this lengthily on the budget. But the general fund on the next slide shows the.
Page you on?
It's not numbered.
Not
General
numbered.
fund revenues.
Oh, man.
I better get this because this one has a page number.
7-3.
We don't have page numbers.
Numbers aren't only used for counting, Pete.
Pete, I'm sorry, I want to go back on the...
I don't have page numbers.
On the transit operator, Pete, on the transit operator, and you said the supervisors are being increased, is it the same percentage that you're increasing the transit operators?
No, there are different rates.
It's a different rate?
Yes.
So by how much do they get more than the operator?
Operating was 91, 116.
I did not bring that information with me. I do have it.
Norma would have that.
But you're looking at police.
No, I'm the bus operator.
Bus operator.
I have that. I have that.
If they're going from 8:35, they're going to 9, and the supervisor's going from what to what? Or what difference of percentage increase that is?
I have that information. I just need to look for it.
I don't mean to take you off track, Pete.
Help me, Norma. I didn't bring it with me.
You're asking about the dispatcher, right?
I'm an operator to a super.
10.4743.
Okay. About 10. That's going up to what about?
Okay, their entry rate currently is
It's on that page, isn't it?
$8.95. And the 8.9536 is the entry rate for the
Oh.
transit dispatchers.
And it's going to
So
go,
the entry rate was going to go to $10.4743. And the operator's current entry rate is $8.35, and they're going to be going to $9.68.
It's basically 13%.
They're going up.
An
this-
adjustment of 13% for each supervisor and
It varies because we brought everybody up to the mid.
13% for all.
Thank you.
They wanted to speak to that. Yeah.
Our next, there it is, that's the next slide, just shows you the revenue budget in the general fund between 2006 and 2007. As you can see, property taxes, we show an increase of almost 1.7 million. Sales tax, almost 1.8 million. Intergovernmental shows a decrease, and that's because during the year, that's when we get additional grants, and we don't know about those grants yet, but as we go into the new year, we tend to get more grants through the state or federal. So the total increase there in revenues at the bottom line is 4.4 million. On the expenditures, the total expenditures increase are 2.9 million. By the way, the expenditures that are not included here yet is the collective bargaining for firefighters. We're still going to look at that. It's not included in the budget because we don't know what the number is going to be, since we have not settled on with the firefighters. On the next slide, it shows the general fund, where the money comes from. The majority of the revenues are in the sales tax of 29.42%, followed by fees and services of 20.46%, and the third being the property tax at 19.82%. The number one expenditures are in the public safety sector, which are on 56.29%. Based on the fund balance that we project at the end of 2006, it's around almost $12 million. Now we know that number is going to be higher, but this is what we have in the budget right now. I estimated the budget, but once the year ends in the general fund, we'll have a fund balance around maybe 14 million.
That's next year or this year?
This year.
Yeah.
The next slide is the Convention and Tourism Fund. The hotel motel tax, $1,160,000, and those funds are distributed among various entities like the Convention and Visitors Bureau, Gladys Porter Zoo, the Historic Brownsville Museum, Camille Playhouse.
Pete, let me stop you there. I know there's a few people here from the
yes, and
the Historical Association.
The Brownsville Heritage Complex is asking for an additional $49,630 that's not been allocated. This fund does not have the funds available. And we also have on the other one for the Public Safety Museum of $133,300 that are also not included in the budget, but it's a public hearing, so you want to talk?
How much?
$133,300.
Well, I know that, okay, let's get to the first one.
It's just a request.
Who's here? Larry? Priscilla? Dr. Knott?
The real Larry.
Well, thanks for hearing our request for $49,000 in the midst of millions and millions. We're celebrating our 60th year this year, Brownsville Historical Association, and this last year has been a year of incredible change for us. In particular, thanks to Priscilla's leadership, we have incredibly upped our offerings to the public, and the participation by the public is way up. Priscilla, you want to talk briefly about that, and then I'll just...
Why don't you introduce yourself for the people that are going to be watching this meeting? So.
Larry Loss, I'm the president of Brownsville Historical Association. I happened to be there at the meeting. I was gone, the meeting where they picked the president, and so they said...
you got it, yeah. That'll teach you.
Okay, and this is Priscilla Rodriguez, who's the executive director of Brownsville Historical, and Tony Knopp, professor emeritus and past president.
And a newest retiree, right, President?
I'd like to talk a little bit about the Brownsville Historical Association. We're the only organization in the Rio Grande Valley that already operates 2 separate museums, a cemetery association, a cultural gallery that rotates exhibits every 2 months, and a resource center where scholars and the public are welcome to come do research about Brownsville's history. And we're asking for this increase to help sustain our current programs. During the last year, we have greatly increased our offerings to the public. Most of our programs, about 90%, are free to the public. So we do feel that the investment that the taxpayer makes in our organization is more than tripled back through our program offerings. And so if we did submit packets, and I don't know if you have it here in front of you, but I did include the numbers, and as you can see, by the end of the year, we will be tripling the number of visitors that attended downtown last year. And so we do feel that we're attracting numerous visitors to downtown, and that we're going to play a key role in the revitalization of downtown. We are the only downtown museum, and as you can see, in 1 year, we offered to the public 11 presentations with guest speakers, 7 book signings, 3 special events, 21 exhibits, 6 workshops, 10 Sabores del Valle cooking workshops, 5 walking tours of historic Brownsville, 3 summer camps, and 26 regular programs. Now, the funding would go to fund an archivist and some supplies. I don't know if many people know that the Brownsville Historical Association has one of the premier archival collections in South Texas. We have an estimated about over 500 linear feet of archives that need to be cataloged, that need to be looked at, because we have so many treasures in our collection. We're talking about the stuff that's going to be in books in future generations, and we have a responsibility to protect it. There's families' histories, photographs, rare items, land grants. And so we're asking the funding for an archivist to be able to move forward with this project.
Brownsville has the second highest number of historic buildings in the state of Texas, and that's something that we don't often really pay much attention to, but we think this is one of the most, our history is one of the most important things that we have to offer and encourage people to come to South Texas, to come to downtown in particular. And in the next couple of weeks, we'll be visiting, hopefully with all of the commissioners, and talking about a much broader vision that we have to really make a difference in downtown. And we can't speak too much of it today, but this is beyond the request that we're speaking of. And we're looking forward to visiting with you all, because I think it's going to make a big difference. Tony, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I think we've already made a difference, and we're asking, on the basis of having stepped up, we're asking you to help us out so we can move farther still. I want to tell you, we get requests, email requests for information from people about their ancestors and so on, and Priscilla zaps them right over to me, and when I'm sitting there with this thing, somebody wants to know about somebody who had, you have a map of the city of Brownsville during the First World War era. Well, without an archivist, we don't have things organized in a way that we can access that kind of information readily. So I go up and I go through all the maps, and maybe I find something, maybe I don't. But this is on an ongoing, practically day-to-day basis. A lot of people interested, they're coming to us. We need the support to be able to service this need.
Are there any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
Mayor, I just want to say that I support Priscilla and this group, the Historic Association. Had the opportunity to sit down with her and talk a little bit about some of the plans, and also some of the other members regarding how they view the museums, and especially in Brownsville. Whenever I have the opportunity to talk to people about downtown and the history of our area, I tell them, there's a big story to tell here. And we're probably the second most historic area south of San Antonio, and yet we don't tell the story like we should. And one of the things that I was really impressed was when you have this whole plan mapped out, you have about a year, 2 years down the road of events taking place, which I think is great. But one of the things that got my attention this past summer was the youth programming that you did. We're constantly amazed how our youth don't know about our history, especially about Brownsville's history. And you all are taking us in the right direction to educating our youth. and it's going to happen through visiting the museum. So I just want to let you know that I do support you all. I hope we can come to some understanding or assist this group as much as possible. As you know, funding is so limited and there's so many requests that we receive, but I really like what you all are doing, and thank you for educating
I'd like to
our
say
youth.
one more thing, though. Priscilla.
I was just going to ask you to tell the public the website so they can get online.
Okay. It's www.brownsvillehistory.org.
BrownsvilleHistory.org. Thank you.
Mr. Cavler, this is a public hearing. I think, I know I'm in support of trying to find these additional funds, because I think what they're going to do with these funds is leverage it, not only by hiring additional personnel, but finding additional monies.
We recently met with the mayor, as you know, so we didn't make adjustments to this presentation in relation to the budget, so.
Actually, I too would like to see it happen, Charlie. I'm in support of it.
We're going to vote on the entire budget, but I think if there's a consensus by the commission to add this item to the budget, that way Pete can finalize it.
I would like to say one more thing.
Go right ahead.
We're aware.
We're in your favor, so don't mess it up, okay?
We're aware, and we do try to offer as much to the Brownsville taxpayer as we possibly can, which is why so many of our programs are free. But we're asking for this additional support so that I can be freed up to pursue outside funding. We realize we cannot keep coming back year after year and putting this burden on the Brownsville taxpayers. And so I do want to be freed up to be able to pursue those foundation grants that I think we're very eligible for and that would really make a long-term impact in Brownsville and downtown to bring tourism back to the downtown area. And I just thank you for listening to us.
Thank you.
Let's get out of here while we're still in a good mood.
Thank you for being here. Okay, Pete. Go ahead. You were moving over to.
Since this fund doesn't have any funds, we're gonna allocate the additional from general fund.
Pete, one thing on that list, it says customs of the Americas. It's costumes.
Costumes is misspelled.
Costumes.
Yeah, costumes is misspelled. Yeah.
Please.
Oh, not the stain, it was customs.
No, I know it's customs. It's just it's a misspelled word.
Customs? Let's have him shook up.
Customs.
You wouldn't be able to vote.
Customs, yeah, immigration.
Then you can't vote on it. You wouldn't be able to vote, but.
That's right, you can't. Thank you. I'll make that correction.
Thank you, sir.
The other, I'm not going to go into community development. Community development, we've already gone through it, so I'm going to skip community development. Oh, by the way, there is a memo in the other handout that shows, and I'm going to refer to a page in that memo.
Does this one have a number?
Page 8. These do.
I have a page number, please.
And this is on the second paragraph on page 8. And there were many, and I've mentioned this before, many requests that came in from various departments for personnel and for capital outlay that are not, obviously are not funded. But the total, and this is on the middle paragraph, the total additional personnel costs, capital expenditures, special project department requests for all funds were almost 2.9 million for personnel, 16 million for capital, and 30+ million for the special projects. And obviously, this is not included in the budget. So we know that there are many needs, yet we don't have the resources to fund all these requests. But you can certainly read the memo and when you get home and study it.
You got to go to sleep.
You want to go to bed?
I'm going to skip the non-bonded debt. The non-bonded debt are lease purchases that money that we pay from either community development or the general fund. Debt service, the next page, we have enough funds available because we allocated the tax rate to pay the debt service for the bonded indebtedness. The other page is the landfill tipping fee increase fund.
Oh, we haven't done these.
We're showing a very small deficit here, 79,000. Hopefully by the end of the year we'll have enough funds that will pick up, we'll be able to take care of that surplus. Then the revenue for the airport, the airport depends quite a bit on the sale of two buildings that would generate close to $5.5 million. If we don't sell these particular assets, we may have to make a budget amendment during the year from the general fund for subsidies. Right now, we have a subsidy of $1 million that we don't need because of the sale of these two buildings, and we won't make that transfer, so that means money that we can place in the reserve. And then we have the bridge fund, and all the monies that are generated from the bridge fund are transferred to the general fund. We expect to transfer $2.7 million from the bridge fund to the general fund. The motor vehicle parking system fund, we are going to transfer some money out of the parking meter fund to the general fund. You recall we had some of the expenditures that were moved to the general fund when some of the functions in the record keeping of the cash were moved from the motor vehicle parking system fund to the general fund. So now the general fund is, municipal court is funding some of these operations, so we're actually transferring some of that money back to the general fund to take care of those additional expenses.
Hey, let me ask you a quick question. I read in the paper that Commissioner's Court from the county is moving to expand the Veterans Bridge, widen it. Because we are 50% owners on that, we will be required to invest into that expansion, correct?
That's the case, yes, absolutely.
That's against them.
We cover expenses as well. If there's any money left, it's obviously, it's a profit for us. But you're correct, Commissioner.
And will we be?
And I guess I have to call them and find out what their projections are for next year.
Please do.
They haven't approached us on that at all, Commissioner. We have no idea.
Okay.
Maybe it's a minor expenditure. I don't know how large it is.
I don't think it's a minor expenditure to widen that bridge.
Okay. They just want
federal funds to do that.
But we'll check on that. And then Brownsville urban system, we have obviously the monies for this operation comes from the federal and the state. The state is going to contribute $538,145. The feds are going to contribute $1,587,189. The general fund is going to kick in $945,554. And then the golf course, we're doing better than years past. We're looking at a transfer from the general fund of close to $200,000. Again, this is a public hearing. We will ask you to approve the budget on the 18th of September, which is a Monday.
Mrs. Fuentes?
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Francisco Cifuentes. I'm a resident and a taxpayer of this beautiful city. And speaking about the budget, I don't know if any of you read the Houston Chronicle recently when a police officer made more money on overtime than the chief of police. And I don't want that happening here in Brownsville, that nobody's watching the story, because that was hundreds of thousands of dollars in overtime, and just for one individual. The money has to be spent wisely. One of the areas that I would like you to consider is the Parks Department. I visit the swimming pool, same swimming pool over by the zoo, and I was informed that it was going to be closed. And I go and exercise there every morning, and I pay my taxes, and I would like that to be open not only for me, but there are 50 children. They still going and painting graffiti all over the city. They go to the swimming pool on a daily basis. And there are many adults who love swimming in the mornings, and I'm one of them. And is there any money in the budget for those operations? We spend millions of dollars to build that pool and that park. What happened? Somebody dropped the ball, they didn't count it, we had to operate it.
Hold on, Mr. Fuentes, hold on. You're getting ahead of yourself. Mr. Cavler?
The swimming pool's been, is still open, and it's been open after Labor Day.
It's never operated year-round.
No.
It's never.
No, I'm not talking about year-round. Just as long as November, for example, when it gets cold, then if you're going to close it. But, I mean, we go and exercise there, we use it, and children go, families, complete families go over there.
It's a new matter that's been brought to our attention.
Okay. I'm speaking about the budget. I think this is a public hearing about the budget.
Right, and we are looking
at budget monies for the community, to the community can use these services. And I think, I'm not out of order here. I'm speaking about the budget. We need to spend it on the community.
No one's saying you're out of order. What I'm telling you is that we are looking into this matter.
Because you're interrupting me, that's why.
No.
And that's one of the things
because you said we dropped the ball.
As far as
let me finish that way. I think you had an assumption that we used to have it open all the time, and then now we don't. I just want to make sure.
No, by no means. But to close it right now, I mean, this is the summer. It's still very hot. Children go and use it, and we were informed that it was going to be closed right after Labor Day, and now they kept it open. But I would like you, the city commissioner, you, the mayor, and everybody, the city manager, to make sure that it continue open at least until November. You know, we need it. We need it open. I got my big belly out because I go exercise every morning. I turned 60 years old. I exercise 1 hour every morning, and you know, I pay my taxes, so I would like to continue using it and see fit that the city spends the money not only on me, on the 50, 60 children that go, and the 200 people that go on the weekends. We need it. It's still very hot. Don't close it on us. The money budgeted, the money is supposed to be spent on the community. You have many people, as you know, tonight, so many people are asking you for money, so many departments. But the most precious commodity, the children. You have the children, you have people that need these services. And it's very important. Also, Leslie, I'm going to mention, I've been promised by the city manager and by many of you that Rio del Sol, the street, Rancho Viejo, was going to be repaired, redone, and it's been going on for a few years. And I've been lied upon, I've been promised so many times, and I'm asking you this time, don't lie to me no more. Fix that street, it looks terrible. I lived there for 21 years. After we became city taxpayers, it's been going on, they're going to fix our street. It has not been fixed yet. I want it fixed.
Mr. Cifuentes, real quick, Mr. Lastra and Jaime Estrada from PUB, we sat down a month ago to decide the future of that street, because that is my district.
Yes, sir.
And nobody's lying to you when we're saying we're not going to get something done there. It's a huge project that's going to cost $2.something million. It's in the process, but you just can't go get it built like that. PUB and the city have to work together to make sure that they don't pay the street, and then PUB comes back and takes out lines. They don't want to fix the streets where PUB is going to destroy them later. Right now, there's meetings and negotiations. We've met with them. I'm holding them accountable, and we'll get it done.
With all due respect, sir, I'm not you barely came into the city commission. I've been here for a few years, and I came to do it, but this is the idea. The deal is this. I was told that the money was there 2 years ago. I was told that the money, and I have other neighbors, we were told that the money was there and it wasn't spent on other projects. So that's what I'm saying.
Let me fight for you,
okay,
and we'll get it done.
Thank you very much. I finalize my comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fuentes. Anybody else? All right.
What should we say?
Is there a motion to close?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Hernandez.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 14.
Item 14, consideration and action to announce that during a special meeting beginning at 6 p.m. on September 18, 2006, at City Hall, the City Commission will adopt the city's fiscal year 2007 budget by resolution and will approve the 2006 ad valorem tax rate by ordinance on first reading, with the second reading of such tax ordinance scheduled for adoption on a regular meeting of September 19, 2006 at City Hall beginning at 6 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Nana, seconded by Commissioner Arroyo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 15.
Item 15,
Good job, Pete.
Thank you.
consideration and action regarding comments received during the 30-day public comment period, which was August the 2nd through September the 1st of 2006, and to approve the submission of the substantial amendment to the one-year action plan fiscal year 2005 to include fiscal year 2004 and 2005 home funding and the use of program income.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners. This item is to approve the submission of the substantial amendment to the one-year action plan for fiscal year 2005 in order to receive the release of home funds from HUD by September 30th, 2006, and to acknowledge the public comments that were received and considered during the public comment period that occurred from August 2nd, 2006 through September 1st, 2006. Based on all the comments received, staff recommends to keep the plan as submitted.
So move. Second. Sally?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
Thank you.
Which one is next? Item 16.
Item 16, consideration and action to authorize HNTB Amendment Number 26 for professional planning services associated with the maintenance repair operation facility.
Mayor, members of the City Commission, we're asking authorization to proceed to make sure that we've got a contract and we're able to pay the invoices. This has to do with site development, research, and summary associated with future development of the airport.
So move to approve. Second.
Motion approved by Commissioner Nana, seconded by Commissioner Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 17.
Item 17, consideration and action to accept 31st Year Community Development Block Grant Street and Drainage Improvement Project and to release retainage and final payment to R&R Paving Company.
Mayor, Commissioners, this is 2 streets in Southmost. Work is being finished. Approval.
Mayor, the residents out there are very, very happy. We went out there to visit with them, and they're very happy about what got done in there. And thank you for doing this. And Ben, also thank you for the funding on this. I would move to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Gordia, seconded by Commissioner Nettles. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. We've got a couple of comments, but most of them were on items that either got continued or passed. Father Jerry, you're on the public comment, right? That's where we're at now, aren't we, Phyllis?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You just passed the home monies for this fiscal year.
Item 15.
0607, right?
Yes.
Anyway, the website, the city website had this paper on public comments that they received during the period up through September 1st, 2006, and it specifies, 3 favorable comments. I wrote a letter, 4-page letter. I gave copies to some of you, not to all of you. And we checked with the secretary today, and that wasn't even part of the package, and I think it should have been made available to all of you if it weren't. I wonder if you saw it beforehand. Not so much the one I gave, I hope you saw that one, but I think that should have been made available as public comment related to the decision you already made on the home funds. It's not even mentioned here on public comments.
We received them in Charlie's packet.
I don't know.
And it's very insightful, if I must humbly admit, insight into how home monies have kind of degenerated in the way that they're being spent and the good that's being done through their use over the last several years.
When did you submit these comments, Father?
On September 1st.
Maybe that's why I didn't get put in our packet.
But I hand-delivered it.
Yeah, I have them. Mine. They were right here on the table.
I gave it to you, Ernie.
No, these were on the table tonight. I got these right here off the table.
Well, if they were on the table, my concern is you didn't have time to read them. There's no way you could have read all of those items if you just saw them tonight for the first time and you already decided on the whole monies. And I think that's the whole spirit of the way the whole monies are meant to be.
I received in my package the letter, and I received the facts from Jaime Diaz, and I reviewed it prior to coming to this meeting.
And is that the same information? Actually,
did you get my letter? Did you see a letter I wrote?
I'm sorry, we made a mistake. I'm sorry, Father. We're not allowed to address you during the public comment, so say your spiel. Give him the additional 2.5 minutes, still, since we interrupted it.
I wrote the letter on September 1st. You read that letter?
Not your letter.
Okay, well, that was part of the public comments.
That's right here.
Don Curry wrote it 10 to 12. I know you have it. I gave it to you.
No, sir, I received it right.
Okay, well, if you received it now,
Go ahead, Father. We're not allowed to address you during the public comment.
If you received it now, you received it far too late to read it and reflect upon it and have it make any impact on the deliberation decisions you already made. That's basically my point. I know there were at least 3 different critiques that were made, and I don't think they were dealt with in a way that was proper. It could have been effective in your deliberations. The second thing, I have a copy here, the citizen participation paper or policy, and it says that the CAC shall act in advisory capacity, that is the Citizens Advisory Committee, to the City Commission regarding public hearings, public meetings, solicit proposals, review evidence, etc. In relationship to a spending plan for all discretionary community development block grant program, and then it goes on to say home investment partnership program, home, American Dream Down Payment Incentive, ADDI, Emergency Shelter Grant Program, ESG funds, and program income each year under the city's annual action plan. I'm on the committee. I'm Mr. Anonymous' appointee, and we never talk about home monies. They're never brought up. We talk about CDBG monies, ADDI monies, but not home monies, or any reallocation of leftover funds from previous years, as per your own manual policy. So I think you might want to reconsider, what this advisory committee is about, what its purview is, and because to think we're spending that much money on home monies without having any kind of citizen review on how those monies are spent or the merits of the respective projects to be funded, it puts a lot of power in the hands of a few on staff who would make those decisions.
Thank you for your comments, Father. That's all I have. Stella, do you have anything else?
No, sir.
If not, this meeting is adjourned.